My name is Zoe Williamson, and I'm the Coalition Coordinator for the Students Learn, Students Vote Coalition, and I'll be walking you through the 6 levels of voter engagement in 2020. The first level of voter engagement is registering yourself to vote. Second level is registering 3 friends. The third level is registering your community. The fourth level is participating in various days of action like National Voter Registration Day, Vote Early Day, and National Voter Education Week. The fifth level is becoming a poll worker, and the sixth level is institutionalizing voter systems on your campus. The first level of voter engagement is registering yourself to vote. There are a bunch of different ways that you can register to vote. You can use Democracy Works, Rock the Vote, Vote.org. All of these are great tools, and it's just up to your discretion which one you would like to use. It's also up to your discretion which one you would like to use if you want to share it with your friends, family. But I would really recommend looking at Campus Vote Project's state student voting guides. They just break down all of the state rules, laws, deadlines for this election, and making sure that if you are registering to vote, you're following the rules, you're following the laws, and if you're registering others to vote, that's even more important to follow the rules and the laws. So check out Campus Vote Project State Student Voting Guides, and they break them down by state. As you can see, they have this cool map, and you just click on your state, and it'll bring up all of the information that you need to register to vote. Registered yourself to vote, the next step is registering others to vote. So I'm going to kick it off to Nicholas with Student Perks to talk a little bit more about that.
Hi everyone. My name's Nick. I'm the board chair for Calpers Students and the campaign coordinator for Calpers New Voters Project at UCLA. And I want to tell you all about how the Register 3 Friends level of organizing can make a huge difference in helping get out the vote this election. I got involved in Calpers New Voters Project in 2018 because I believe that our government works best when everyone participates, and that young people's vision for our future will be better reflected in our government's policies if we vote at higher rates. During that time, I worked to help get UCLA students out to vote for the 2018 midterm elections and 2020 primaries by helping to run big voter registration and get out the vote drives, spending countless hours asking students to register to vote as they were walking on campus or making announcements in classes. And we're still doing that register your community level of organizing, but with the pandemic taking in-person outreach off the table, one of the key tactics that we have found successful to work around those limitations is relational organizing, or the register 3 friends level of engagement. Each of us can take the simple step of asking 3 friends whether or not they are registered to vote at the right address. And if they're not, helping them register to vote on the spot or sending them to the link to register. By the way, if they're a student, use studentvote.org so we can track how many students are voting and send them get out the vote reminders. Some context on why voting is important will be important to include in any texts or calls that you make to motivate your friends to get out to vote. But this method can be done on more of a register your community level to achieve big results. Earlier this summer, Calpers students spent 2 weeks recruiting over 200 interns to help get ready for big voter drives this fall. Then in the first week of the internship, we got together for campaign actions led by our professional organizers to call and then text 10 of our friends to pledge to vote and ask 5 of their friends to pledge to vote, as well as asking our supporters to text their friends. In 3 days, we were able to collect over 3,000 pledges to vote using this method. So if you're part of an organization that does get out the vote work, organize a relational organizing event to get out the vote. Or if you're not at that level yet, just text 3 friends right now to ask if they're registered to vote at the address they'll be living at this fall. I'll do it with you.
Thanks so much, Nicholas. And if you want to learn about a program that you can do to register your community, check out this video from When We All Vote.
Hey y'all, this is Bobby, and I'm the organizing director with When We All Vote. Our team is focused on reaching as many eligible voters as possible and helping them register and get ready to vote.
And I'm Arisa, the Deputy Director of Organizing and Training at When We All Vote. We're here today to talk to you about how you can help us engage eligible voters from the comfort of your own home through texting.
Texting is one of the best ways to meet eligible voters where they are, on their phones. So let's get going. Today, we will introduce you to an amazing tool our team uses called Outvote. This tool will help you text voters across the country to make sure they're registered and ready to vote. This tool also includes a lot of great ways to organize the people that you know and the people in your community. Also, I should mention that everything we're about to show you can be found at whenweallvote.org/texting. So now, I'm going to turn it back to Arisa, who's going to walk us through how to use the app.
Great, let's do this. To get started, you'll need to download the Outvote app to your phone. Outvote is the When We All Vote organizing platform that easily helps you reach out to the people you know to help make sure they're registered to vote, and you can engage in texting campaigns to register voters across the country. The first step is to go to a web or mobile phone browser or your desktop and go to weall.vote/outvote. Alternatively, you can also scan the QR code here on the screen by hovering your phone camera over the image and clicking on the browser notification. That directs you to a page to enter your phone number where you will receive a text message to download Outvote from your phone's app store.
You can also download Outvote directly from your phone's app store, but you'll need to get linked with the When We All Vote campaign page by inputting our 6-digit campaign code. That code is 456100. Again, the code is 456100. If you prefer to use your web browser to text, you'll need to go to outvote.io, press the login button at the very top of the screen, where it'll take you to a screen where you can log in as a volunteer or an administrator. Make sure that you select the volunteer selection, and then you'll be able to sign in either using an email address or using your Google account. When you create an account, make sure that you remember our campaign code. Again, that code being 456100. Back to you, Arisa.
Now you'll need to create an account. First, make sure you enter the campaign code, which is 456100. After that, you're going to click the blue Start button, and you'll be prompted to enter your zip code. After that, you'll enter your first name, your last name, and phone number. You'll have the option to sign up via Facebook or email. Take your pick for what's most comfortable for you. If this is your first time on Outvote, you'll need to choose an email or password and click the sign up button. All right, you're in. Once you're in, sync your phone's contacts. Syncing your contacts is the easiest way to begin taking action with When We All Vote. By syncing your contacts, you'll be able to send events, messages, and encourage your networks to check their voter registration. You'll do that by going to the far right icon, which looks like a person, and clicking the blue Sync My Contacts button. As you can see, each Outvote user has a leaderboard, and you can get points for taking action with When We All Vote. So think about your fellow action takers that you want to compete with. Now that you've synced your contacts, you can take 2 super effective actions to help get folks registered and ready to vote. Now it's time to take action. This is the important part. One simple action you can take is to text 3 friends. Think of your friends, acquaintances, colleagues, or family members who you think need to hear this message and text them to make sure they're registered to vote. As you can see, you can do that by going to the When We All Vote campaign page, scrolling down to the Text 3 Friends icon, and clicking the blue Start button. Then you can select your 3 friends and send them a text message that we've already put together for you. You can search for your friends using the magnifying glass icon. After you text them, make sure you fill out a report with us on Outvote about how your contacts responded when you reached out to them. And you'll do that by clicking the blue Fill Out Reports button. The second major action you can help with right now is to text eligible voters across the country to make sure they're registered and ready to vote. On the When We All Vote campaign page, scroll down to the Texting Action Campaigns. We've already gotten you started with a list of eligible Americans across the country who need to hear from you. To text them, click the icon in the blue button that says Start. You'll be directed to a draft text message we've already written out for you and the name of each recipient. Just hit send. As you can see, the text messages are sent via Outvote, meaning your phone number is protected. All you have to do is continue hitting the blue button that says send to send out these messages. The one thing that's important to remember is that this is a conversation between you and an eligible voter, so please make sure you're keeping in touch with the folks you're texting. To continue the conversation, open your inbox on Outvote by clicking the text icon. There, you will see all replies to your initial text. Click on the follow-up button to see the follow-up script options and send them directly within the Outvote app. After you've completed your conversation with a voter, you should also click the button that says Fill Report. For example, if a voter tells you they're already registered, let us know via the report. If someone uses profane language or will not be 18 by election day or asked to be taken off the list, use Fill Report to click Opt Out. Lastly, if someone says wrong number, use Fill Report to mark that in the Outvote app.
And that is how you use Outvote. Make sure you keep coming back to the When We All Vote campaign page in the Outvote app to check in for more actions. A few quick tips to go over before you get texting. 1, always be polite. As a volunteer, you represent When We All Vote and our organization. 2, only send texts to potential voters from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., the local time of the person you're texting. 3, when a voter responds to you in Outvote, the most effective and best practice is to follow up with them within the hour. So make sure you're setting aside time not just to text, but to have the conversation as well. If people ask not to be messaged, just go ahead and immediately mark them as do not call. And lastly, report back. You can fill out a report on Outvote by going to the Fill Report button in your Outvote inbox. If you have any questions at all, you can head to whenweallvote.org/texting or email us at volunteers@whenweallvote.org. We're so excited to have you on the team with us. Happy texting, y'all.
The next level of student voter engagement on campus is participating in days of action. We have 3 days of action that help students get vote ready. And if you participate in these, you would be bringing the celebration to your campus. The first one is getting people registration ready by participating in Campus Takeover. The second one is getting people educated on what's on their ballot and how to vote using National Voter Education Week. And the third one is encouraging people to turn out to vote with Vote Early Day.
So to speak a little bit about that very first option, which is National Voter Registration Day and Campus Takeover, I'm going to take just a little bit of time to talk about some of the support and resources that we can provide to help you in hosting NVRD events on your campus. So my name is Eddie Zerby. I'm the Special Projects Director for the SLSB Coalition, the Students Learn, Students Vote Coalition. And we are a national hub and the largest nonpartisan network in the US dedicated to increasing college student voter participation and democratic engagement. We partner with more than 400 organizations and have a presence on more than 1,700 campuses. If you want to go to the next slide. One of the things that we like to do at the SLSV Coalition is just help folks, make it easy as possible for folks to celebrate national holidays related to voting. And one of the programs that we've had running for a while is Campus Takeover, which helps with National Voter Registration Day. If this is the first time you're hearing about National Voter Registration Day, it's a nonpartisan civic holiday celebrating our democracy. It was first observed in 2012 and has quickly gained momentum ever since. Nearly 3 million voters have registered to vote on the holiday to date. And this year it's going to be celebrated on September 22nd of 2020. And what we do with National Voter Registration Day is that we run a program called Campus Takeover. So if you want to go to the next slide. Campus Takeover is a program that we lead with the Alliance for Youth Organizing. And in the same way that we do all the rest of our work at the SLSV Coalition, it's just a national effort to share resources, build community, and support people who are hosting NVRD events on colleges, community colleges, university campuses, basically any sort of event that's happening to try to help college students to go out and vote or get registered to vote on NVRD. We're trying to support and make it as easy as possible. So if you want to go to the next slide. Last year, Campus Takeover events were held on over 550 campuses and contributed to hundreds of thousands of registrations. And I know we don't like to say that, that there is no off year in election world, right? Every year there are elections, but this was in 2019, right? So going into 2020, we've got a presidential election, we've got national attention on voting and registration. And so we know that this year we're going to do more, and we're still out here recruiting campuses to join us. And with your help, we know that we're gonna launch, just completely surpass this goal. If you go to the next slide. But like I said, at the center of our work is making it as easy as possible, whether you're a college student, a college administrator, an off-campus organizer, whoever it is that you are trying to do something on a college campus for National Voter Registration Day, we want to make this as easy as possible for you. And so to help you in your work, what we do is that we host several webinars in the lead up to National Voter Registration Day, covering different topics or questions or challenges that people might be facing. We also provide a toolkit that kind of is a step-by-step do-yourself guide for folks to learn how to host NVRD events and best practices, especially in the age of COVID, right? We know some colleges might be all virtual, some might be mostly virtual, and we're updating it to be able to give folks ideas on how to host virtual events for NVRD. We also provide a lot of social media support, so sample graphics, and posts to make it really easy for you to do stuff on social media. And we amplify all of that through Twitter chats that we host pretty regularly in the lead up to National Voter Registration Day, just trying to give y'all as much attention as possible in the events that y'all are hosting. And most importantly, we also provide resources. And so we're actually opening up the mini grant process this week so that you all can apply for funds to be able to amplify your National Voter Registration Day event on campus. And this year it's pretty flexible what you all can use the funds for in order to just basically make your NVRD event as successful as possible. So go ahead and visit the website. We'd love to have you all on board. Sign up for Campus Takeover and you'll get on the emails to get all of our updates, learn of the webinars, get the toolkit, and anything else. And we're always here for individual support as well if you all just want to reach out and ask any questions.
Thanks, Eddie. And our next day of action is Voter Education Week.
Hi all, my name is Marissa Carenti and I'm also with the Students Learn, Students Vote Coalition. I'm excited to share a brand new opportunity with you, National Voter Education Week, like Zoe said. Throughout our years of experience promoting these nonpartisan voter engagement opportunities in collaboration with colleges and universities and even corporations and election officials, we've seen many efforts, right, focused on voter registration and voter turnout, but few focused on voter education, which is an essential piece in ensuring that those who are registered cast a ballot. Next slide, please. So complementing the incredible success of National Voter Registration Day and Campus Takeover and the exciting launch of Vote Early Day, National Voter Education Week is a nonpartisan digital voter education campaign held the week of October 5th that's going to equip voters with the tools, information, and confidence that they need to cast their ballots. Next slide. So from October 5th to October 9th, National Voter Education Week will be a week-long digital campaign with events live stream on various platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Each day has a specific focus. So during this week of interactive education, voters will be able to check their voter registration status, learn about their ballot, find their polling place, make a plan to vote in person or by mail, and many more opportunities. Next slide. Thank you. So we want you to join us. There are two different partnership opportunities, partners and creatives. As a partner, we'll share advanced resources with your organization, with your campus, and want you to make sure that the information reaches young people across the country. Creatives will work with National Voter Education Week to craft unique and original shareable content that will be available to everyone participating in the campaign. So if you go to the next slide, you'll see an example of a snapshot of some of the social media graphics that are already up on the website right now. So just an example of some shareable content and how we'll build this out as creatives help us create new graphics for the week. Go to the next slide. So this is one step in being vote ready for the fall, and we want you to get involved. So folks can get involved at our website, which is just votereducationweek.org. So check out our site, and if you have any questions or want to connect with us, you can do so at info@votereducationweek.org.
Thanks so much, Marissa. And I'm going to kick it on over to Joey to talk about Vote Early Day.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Zoe. So Vote Early Day is the newest or one of the newest national civic holidays in America. Vote Early Day is on October 24th, 2020. It is a broad collaboration among election administrators, campuses, nonprofits, companies, businesses, tech firms, you name it, with one singular goal in mind: to help all eligible voters learn about their options to vote early in the upcoming election. Next slide. So there are over 200 million Americans that have some type of option to vote early in the upcoming general election, and whether that's voting in person early or if it's casting a ballot by mail through the absentee process. And we already know that voting early is incredibly popular because over 40% of Americans who voted casted their ballots early in the last general election. Now, Vote Early Day, it isn't just a coalition or a group of people. We are a holiday. We are open source, collaborative, and we're based after other national holidays that you're probably familiar with, like National Voter Registration Day, like my colleague Eddie spoke about earlier, or even Giving Tuesday. Our day is purposely scheduled on October 24th because that's 10 days before Election Day. And when we looked at the entire voting calendar, it was the one day where the greatest number of people had some type of option to vote early. And we want to hit as many people as possible when they're interested in the upcoming election to make sure they take advantage of one of those options. And at its simple, we are creating an election day before Election Day, and we want to help educate as many people as possible on one of their different options they have to vote early. Next slide. Now, campuses are thinking about getting involved in numerous ways, and I'm about to dive into just a few of those, but know that we're providing frameworks and templates to help people and organizations and campuses think about how they can activate, from helping their students request absentee ballots to helping them actually submit those back through the USPS, or even identify their absentee ballot drop-off boxes nearest to them. And at the simplest, we want campuses to participate however they're most comfortable participating, and we'll do whatever we can to provide frameworks to make that possible. Next slide. So there's several ways for how groups can get involved, like I mentioned earlier, from holding COVID-proof flagship events to having sort of Zoom ballot parties or car parades, from spreading the word on social media, through their apps, through email marketing, you name it, to helping us recruit numerous poll workers, to also helping our students, understand what's on the ballot top to down and create a plan to vote. There's two different partner options. One is our Premier Partner option. The other one is our General Partnership option. For Premier Partnership, you can get in touch with Marissa or myself. We'll provide you with their emails to get involved. And General Partner options, you can sign up on our website at voteearlyday.org/get-involved. In conclusion, you can reach us at our website, voteearlyday.org. We would love to have you join us in the celebration. We're already at over 400 partners and climbing. We have a goal of 500 campuses to help us celebrate, and we're well on our way to achieving that goal.
Thanks so much, Joey, Eddie, and Marissa. So in conclusion, if you're interested in participating in our days of action, there are 3 different days of action here, September 22nd, October 5th through 9th, and October 24th. If you participate in all of these, you'll be well on your way to making sure your campus is vote ready for election 2020. And the next level of involvement of student voter engagement in 2020 is becoming a poll worker. So I'm going to kick it on over to Scott with Power the Polls.
Thanks. I'm here to talk to you about Power the Polls, a brand new initiative to recruit 250,000 new poll workers to help fill in the gap that's been caused by the COVID-19 epidemic. As most folks know, most poll workers are over the age of 60, meaning that when they don't show up to be poll workers, there are huge lines, and it causes a huge problem at the polls that we saw in places like Wisconsin and Georgia. So we've created a new initiative called Power the Polls, which is a collaboration between a ton of folks to recruit the next generation of poll workers to make sure that the voters can go and have their voices heard in November without any issues. Why should you become a poll worker? Well, first of all, it's important to democracy. As we've seen in places like Georgia and Wisconsin, when poll workers don't show up, polling places get cut, lines get longer, folks are more exposed to each other, and it makes voting harder. So it's about saving democracy. Also, as I mentioned, poll workers tend to be over the age of 60, which is the at-risk population for COVID-19. So we're hoping to recruit younger poll workers who are a little less at risk so we can save ground and make sure democracy functions. And second of all, it's also a job. Most poll worker positions are paid. It gives you a great experience, and you can be a valuable asset to the folks in your community by making your polling place look and feel more like the neighborhood it's in. If you've got, that includes, if you speak a different language, includes helping debug technical issues, which has caused major problems at polling places. So that's why we need younger folks to step up and help power democracy this year. So how can you get involved? Well, head to powerthepolls.org and sign up. We then will then direct you to your election official where you can complete the sign up process. Don't worry if it's complicated, we'll follow up and help you along the way to make sure that you're able to fill out the form and get that application submitted. And then that's it. Hopefully the election official will follow back up, but if not, Power the Polls will follow up with you to make sure your application got in successfully and follow up the election administrator if you don't hear from them. And that's pretty much it. Most polling places also involve doing some training ahead of time, sometimes in person, sometimes virtually. And then on election day, you'll just show up and help voters with their voice heard. We really appreciate stepping up and doing your part to make sure democracy runs successfully this year.
Thank you. And the final level of engagement in bringing this work to your campus is institutionalizing this work into the work that your campus is already doing. So I'm going to give it on over to Marissa.
Hey, thanks, Zoe. Hey, y'all, it's Marissa Carenti again with the Students Learn, Students Vote Coalition. So I'm here to talk about a specific program that uses this institutionalized model into already existing programs and processes. So Ask Every Student uses the framework that student voter participation, full student voter participation, comes from integrating individualized voter registration into existing processes that already reach most, if not all, students on campus. So that's things like orientation or classes or advising that reach all students. So next slide. So we know every campus has different challenges, opportunities, and context to create a program that asks every student about their democratic engagement plan. Next slide. We understand that implementing this strategy includes 4 steps. So identifying the process you will integrate voter registration into, building relationships with the gatekeepers of that process, mobilizing and training your team, and executing your high quality, individualized, and error-free voter registration effort. Next slide. One more, thank you. So Ask Every Student offers a developing toolkit to help campuses integrate, execute, and institutionalize full voter registration strategies on their campus. You can move to the next slide. Some tools that are currently in development include scalable training modules, customizable civic engagement packets, and a digital guide to help campuses in a COVID-19 context. So ultimately, the goal of this nonpartisan program is simple: help colleges and universities institutionalize registering every eligible student to vote. There are different opportunities for campuses to get involved in the Ask Every Student program outlined here. If you go to the next slide, you can learn more about these opportunities and the Ask Every Student program by going to studentvoting.org or reaching out to any of us at the SLSV Coalition, and we can tap you into the work that's happening.
Thank you for joining us for a crash course in voter engagement in 2020. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. My email address is zoe@slsvcoalition.org.